I wanted to figure everything out and have like a positive way to talk about things as well. And I remember when I started posting just little things here and there, because I had so many people come up to me that were like, you are absolutely killing it in business. Like, you're an inspiration, or different things like that. And I'm sitting there being like, oh God, like, I'm glad I'm killing it in business. And there are many things that I like about it, but I also feel like I'm dying inside a little bit. And I feel so alone, and I feel so like afraid of what's coming next.
Pull up a chair. You're sitting at the table with Powerhouse Women, the podcast where bold women in business come to connect, collaborate, and build something bigger than themselves.
We always say, if you're fortunate to have a seat at the table, pull up 3 more. That's exactly what we're doing here.
This isn't just a conversation, it's a movement. We're creating space at the table for conversations that matter. The ones that challenge you, push you, and remind you that you do not have to do this alone.
Every episode, we're talking growth, success, and the real, unfiltered truths of entrepreneurship. No gatekeeping.
No fluff, just the perspective and community that you need to thrive. So if you're ready to surround yourself with women who get it, you're in the right place, and there is already a seat with your name on it. What's up, Powerhouses? Welcome back to another episode of At the Table with Powerhouse Women.
Today, we're sitting down with our brilliant co-founder, business partner, and one of our very best friends, first and foremost, Miss Morgan Hawes. So happy to have you on the podcast.
Hello, I'm so excited to be
Morgan briefly, but we want to kind of reintroduce Morgan. She's a real estate broker, co-founder of The Order Arizona, developer, investor, Powerhouse Women co-founder, and chief of member strategy with us. She's also an athlete, a wellness girly, and the list goes on and on and on and on.
It's a long list.
Morgan does it all. Seriously.
Anything wellness and real estate related, I figure out how to mesh together too.
Absolutely. Morgan is selling houses and playing pickleball at the exact same time, or lifting weights, or
100%.
all the things.
Upper bodies class.
Yes. Selling the lifestyle, living it, living by example, and selling it day in and day out.
That's what I like to do. I sell the lifestyle. I'm living in it. I'm investing in it. So it's way easier for me to sell it.
And I love that about you. I feel like I've learned so much about the way that you do it's very different from how the average real estate agent does real estate. And I've kind of pulled that inspo into my own life. And I love to now be able to incorporate real estate in just my day to day without having to feel like I'm truly working. It's because I enjoy it, you know?
Yes. I think the lifestyle is such a big piece of definitely of my real estate business. But now I'm seeing it trickle in, especially with all of our Powerhouse girls. I'm seeing it trickle in differently because we love where we live. That's why we're selling houses where we are. We love the area. We're not selling in a place that we dislike. So showing off what that lifestyle really brings really helps us bridge the gap between our friends, our clients, probably makes our clients our friends. And it's way more relaxed. We're not just trying to sell houses. We're just sharing an experience. And if you resonate with that, then I will be your helper in getting a home.
And that's so cool. Now tell our audience where you're from, because you're not originally from Arizona, but tell them like kind of how you moved there and all the things.
I was born in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but really quickly moved to Washington, D.C., and that's where I actually grew up. So I'm an East Coast girly at heart. My parents moved right when I was finishing high school, moved to Sedona. So moved from big city, D.C. to tiny town Sedona, finished high school there, and then got a full ride to Arizona State here in like the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. And I was going to be a neurosurgeon. That's what I wanted to be. I got a full ride for. Very quickly knew that that was not what I actually wanted to do, that I was super interested in neuroscience. And funny enough, I even bring that into everything that I do now, but on a very different level. I'm not cutting into anybody's brains. I can then just talk about alignment and rewiring our brain and how that can work with health and wellness and real estate and building wealth instead. And that's what brought me to the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. And then I moved to kind of the Paradise Valley, Arcadia area quickly after school. I got licensed when I was 18, finished up ASU college, and hit the ground running, and have been building ever since. And I'm going on a full decade now.
That's wild, Morgan. I'm so curious because like I always forget that you, like your track record and your story, origin story starts so differently from where you've ended up. And I'm curious because I always forget that you went to school and that you were planning on being a neurosurgeon. What was like the moment for you that you were like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work for me?
I remember, I think it was like month 2 of my freshman year. And like, and by the way, year 1, you're doing like basic classes. You're not even really like doing anything. But I remember month 2, I was called in by like the advisor and they're just checking in. How are you doing? Like, how's everything going? We need to start prepping for the next year. And they sat down, they're like, okay, we need to start thinking about graduate school and residency. And I was like, what? I have 4 years here before I need to do that. And they were like, no, we got to start thinking about that now. And I was like, no, I just got done with scholarships. I just got the full ride. I've been super stressed and I am just not having it. Like I started ditching a lot of my classes to go hang out at the pool or go to the gym or to go to some homeowner seminars that were about like how to build wealth and how to do it young or how to house hack. And so I started going to different little seminars that I could find about that. That year, ASU came out with a real estate development program. And so luckily, in that month 2 mark where I was freaking out, I was like, okay, we're fine. I like real estate. I always knew that I wanted to hold real estate on the side of my career. My family's always held real estate. So I knew I had the landlord bug. That's how I wanted to build wealth. I just thought I was going to do that on the side of being a doctor. So that quickly changed. And as soon as I dove in headfirst there and I got my real estate license, I started shadowing an awesome team. I was like, wait, I can make real estate my full-time career. I can build it to be what I want it to make. I can really revolve it around me as a person and the lifestyle and market that I'm in. And I realized that is where I wanted to be. That's where I didn't even realize was an option to be. And that's kind of how it stemmed.
So you're brilliant. Bottom line, you're brilliant. Like so smart. You probably got like straight A's in high school, worked your ass off. I mean, it's incredible though that you even thought that you wanted to do that at such a young age, because I couldn't have even imagined that I was going to get into real estate when I was 18 years old. I just want to party. I didn't love going to seminars. I was thinking about the next frat party I was going to that weekend. So like kudos to you, because really different mindsets at that age.
I know. Straight.
Now, I definitely did party still. I still had those moments. But there were many times I remember when I was 19, I bought my first condo. And it was a cheap little condo that I got. But I was like, I'm licensed. Like I want to start getting my own foot in the door and feel what this is like. And I got to start somewhere. And I remember buying it and having zero money left. And I was working like 3 jobs at that time because I was still shadowing as the license. Like nobody trusted an 18, 19-year-old girl to be their realtor. So I was still like shadowing and partnering, learning while I'm still going to school. And I remember buying my condo and then having no money. And I'm like, okay, but I have 3 jobs and I'll have enough money to just make the mortgage the next month. And I'll make a little bit more the next month. And I'll just keep going that way. Spring break was coming up and all my friends were getting ready to go. And I remember sitting there being like, I really want to do spring break, but I need to make my mortgage. And I'm way more excited about this condo. So I'll see you guys later. And so I definitely I was house rich and cash poor for a while through college.
You did it right, though, because everyone now is kicking themselves that they didn't do that back then.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. At that time, because
smart. Seriously.
That was literally 10 years ago now because I just turned 29. So 10 years ago, I bought that place. And that was a 1-bedroom condo. And I bought it for $165, I think, at that time. Now, you can't find a 1-bedroom condo. If it's for that much, you're like going hour outside of town and maybe getting something. So it's wild to see even in just the decade. And I've seen it over like my parents' lifetime in all of their real estate and looking back at my grandparents and everything and just studying history of the real estate. But it's funny to look back for just 10 years of my life. And when I've been buying real estate being like, oh my God, like you can't get that price anymore. Like it doesn't matter what you do. You just can't do it. Getting started early and having that compounding work for you works wonders.
Do you still own that condo?
No, I did sell that one right around COVID. I sold that because I could make a profit, and I was remodeling another place at the time that I was living in. I wanted to build on a master bathroom and a better laundry room. And since I had enough equity in that condo, I sold that one to finish the remodel on my other one.
Wow. I was going to ask, since you had that experience and it obviously panned out for you in your favor, it was a very long game play, which real estate is very long game. But now having that background and having done it yourself, when you're talking to someone who's like our age or maybe younger or maybe older and they've never bought a home and they would be more or less house rich, cash poor, what is your advice to them when they're trying to weigh their options, or if they're like, I'm just going to keep renting?
A big piece of my discovery call with clients is more so finding out why are you even thinking about buying real estate? Because I will always own real estate. I'm a huge proponent of it, but I don't think it's for everybody. And depending on how they're actually going to utilize it, I can probably help them get off that fence. Almost always it's because they're looking for wealth building or looking for a place that they can personalize and make their own. And that's a no-brainer. You should be buying real estate if those are any of your goals or any of your priorities in life. But it's first realizing, especially around the first house, you're not going to get the perfect house. It is very rare for somebody to come in and on their first house, you're going to check all the boxes. In fact, even for a lot of my dream home buyers, you're getting a property that's 80% of the way there, and then you're going to put the final touches to make it your 100% because we're all individuals. Mm-hmm. So I try to reel it back that way of let's figure out what works for you and your personality and your future investment vehicle, whether you want to get into Airbnbs or you want to get into corporate rentals or whatever you want to turn that into, if you even want to. And now what does that look like in a house? And realize it's going to take time. And on that first house, you have to get into it to be a part of the real estate game, and you have to put in the time. And at first that's doing sometimes grunt work or fixing houses. Sometimes it's just not being able to go on vacations or spend a little bit more in other ways because you just bought this asset. So it's more setting the expectations of this is a good thing, this is building you towards your goals, but be prepared for the next little bit to be a little bit of a stall sometimes.
Definitely. What challenges did you come across throughout this whole past 10 years in real estate, whether it was career-wise or investor-wise, that were super challenging and probably pivotal for you?
I feel like there have been a few in the 10 years. I think they kind of transitioned into phases. It kind of started 18 to 21 years old. The big challenge was I was 18 to 21. So people didn't trust me. Even though I started doing a lot of business, young people still didn't like it, didn't trust it. So it was more of that kind of hustle culture that I had to be a part of, even though I am a big opponent of hustle culture. I think it actually it can hurt a lot of people, but I think there's merit in starting, especially when you're starting young and hustling and doing anything and everything. So age and hustle culture, I think, started to burn me out. And that kind of transitioned me into that second phase of I am overexerting myself. I'm saying yes to every opportunity that I possibly can, which at the beginning was great. But during that transition period was burning me out. And I was saying yes to things that weren't actually aligned with where I wanted to go. They were just getting the reps in. And so I was saying yes to clients that I probably shouldn't have. I was saying yes to houses that I probably shouldn't have even driven further away. It would have been better to refer out. So there were a lot of those pitfalls during the hustle culture that I think I had to realize I'm missing opportunities that are aligned with me because I'm saying yes to too much. So slow down. And that kind of had me go through a phase where I transitioned out of that hustle culture, burnt out phase. And that was in okay, we're stripping everything down. I'm in a rebuild phase. I had also gone through a divorce at that time. And so I was in rebuild mode where I was okay, we're slowing down, taking a step back. What do I want from my career, but also me as an individual? And how do I tie those two together to make a career moving forward? And I think that was probably the most pivotal change. All of those kind of lined up to it. But I think ultimately slowing down and kind of stripping things away, starting to say no to things, allowed me to shift and start building this career that is that feels like me. It's not even a career. It feels like I'm building my life. I'm living my life. My career is such a cohesive part of that. And that change was probably the most pivotal.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, your whole circle is really very involved with buying and selling real estate with you and Deandre. And you guys just have, I feel like you formed like a whole community around buyers and sellers, essentially.
Completely. I think that's a big one for us is we're actively buying, selling, investing. Our friends are doing the same thing. A lot of our friends are older than us too. They've been in this kind of local, we're in a very micro market. And so they're the business owners, they're the investors, they're the ones that are opening new clubs or doing new communities, or they're redoing the entertainment district, they're buying the hotels. So we kind of have this micro macro level of all the people in the network that we know, which is why we have niched so hard in that Paradise Valley, Arcadia area where we also live, because our regular life, even just going for a walk in my neighborhood, is for me personally, but can also bring business. Everything is intertwined that way. When I go to the coffee shop, when I go to my Pilates studio, when I do a little event for friends and bring them in, like we're all a part of the network of Phoenix and Scottsdale. And so that's been a really cool way to see how our network, our business, and our personal life all combine.
It's like goals right there. You're like the blueprint. I always tell Jay, I'm like, Morgan and Deandre are the blueprint. Like, I literally want to be them in my next life.
I love that.
We didn't introduce or even talk about who Deandre is. I feel like if you want to share about how you guys met.
Ooh, yeah.
I love the story.
Deandre and I met just over 2 years ago now, and we met on Bumble. The first time either one of us had tried a dating app of any kind. I had gotten out of a divorce. I'd been separated and divorced for a few years. So I was like, we both were in a fun phase. We're having the best time meeting new people, going out, we're partying, we're like involved in our network. We're just having a good time. I had been traveling so much. So when we actually matched on Bumble, I wasn't in town. So it took forever for us to actually meet up. We met up a week before I was leaving for a month-long trip to Bali that I had planned. And this was going to be like my big, like eat, pray, love kind of trip. I was going to go do a really big solo month in Bali and have it be a reset. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to kick ass in my career. And I'm going to have this like very wellness, clean girl aesthetic kind of summer and come back. We finally met up a week before I was leaving. And we spent the entire week together just doing anything and everything and being absolute degenerates, just having fun, playing, a little bit of work, but very little, to be honest. And he was dropping me off at the airport. And I was like, well, this is like sad because we've only hung out for a week. Like, there's no way that I'm going to go to Bali for a month, come back, and we're just going to like pick up. We're in like two different phases. We're in the fun phase. I text him that as I'm waiting for my baggage to go in. I'm just like, this is dumb, but I miss you. And he was like, it is dumb. Like, I actually miss you too. Like, I had so much fun. I actually like almost have withdrawals a little bit. And I had to stop in Texas for one day, go to New York to do the big trip. So I had like one day in between this where he jokingly said, like, maybe I should just come with. Bali sounds fun. And I was like, do it. I board my flight, come along. I land. He's figuring out his tickets. He's figuring out like all the logistics. Luckily he worked a lot remotely, but he had to figure out a month of travel that he was now segmenting. And within like 12 hours, he met me in New York and we went to Bali for a month. And that was like the crash course into what are we? What is this? Is this going to be a relationship? We're going to travel, live together, be in a country that doesn't speak our language, that we really don't know what's going on, and just figure it out. And
Ultimate test.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable trip. Came back. He moved in with me. We combined a business immediately. We started like the Right House team. We started building together, started scaling, traveling some more, and the rest is history.
Wait, did he move in with you right away? Like as soon as you got back?
Within like a month after we got back, his lease was coming up, and we were like, okay, well, let's have you move in here. We've been redoing
together for a month in Bali. It just makes sense.
Morgan, I have like actual goosebumps right now. Like, I already knew the story, but hearing it again, like, what the heck? Insane.
Yeah. The spontaneity of that, I think that was the biggest thing that spoke to me, because I'm not a routine person. I can follow a routine. I don't like to follow a routine. I'm like so anti that, even though I am a very diligent person. I'm like, I will get things done. I just want to get them done on my time when I want to, in the headspace that I want to. And I have a ton of spontaneity. I will pick up and go and just like do it for the plot. Like I have side quests all the time, and I love that. I think that's the point of life. So when Deandre was able to, like, after just literally a week of knowing me, and then that quick decision of like, I mean, it was literally an hour flight from Phoenix to Texas. And in that amount of time, he not only was able to like find a ticket, be able to start packing all of his stuff, get all of his month-long either meetings or anything rescheduled for a different time. Like that spontaneity and just like determination. I was like, hoo, that speaks to me.
Yeah, he's like your perfect match, seriously. And like,
yes.
It's so crazy because you guys run in the same circles. You are around each other, both in real estate in the same market, and didn't like that's
never
is meant to be.
Yeah, never even saw a photo of one another. And like he is like my dream guy to a T. Like he's exactly what I have imagined. Like never even saw a photo. When we were in Bali, we had quite a few friends that they would message us and they're like, "Are you there with Deandre?" And I'm like, "You know Deandre?" And vice versa. People would message him being like, "Are you there with Morgan? Like, what's happening right now?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, they have mutuals."
Like,
and I didn't know that the invisible string theory was like that cool. I thought you guys like, because I figured since you didn't grow up in Arizona, I figured like you moved to the street that he lived on. I knew he like lived like really close to you, but I didn't know that you. Well, what were they doing? They should have introduced you guys. Like, what the heck?
I look at them now and I'm like, I feel like you should have known me and been like, this is Morgan's dream guy. But I do think it all like that invisible string theory and like divine timing. I don't think I was ready to be in a relationship like I am now until like that exact moment. Like, I think it had to be exactly that. Even the crunch time for like leaving to Bali, it had to be that to like really speak to my soul and like move with it. So I think the timing worked out perfectly. But I do look at some of those friends and I'm like, hey, you were keeping people from me.
You know, like, who are my friends hiding? Like, hello. Yeah. But I think it really does come down to the timing for you, because you were already planning this like crazy spontaneous summer. And the fact that he was like right there ready to do it with you, if you didn't catch him in that moment being willing to be so spontaneous, you might have not been as interested in like jumping into something like that. So it's all for a reason.
Yes, 100%.
Such a cool story. I love you guys.
I mean, that's so similar to how I met the two of you too, which is amazing. Like, it's total invisible string theory and part of it luck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, I mean, it all started with Gia.
Gia is a little social media queen that she will jump into your DMs and she's not afraid of anything. She's like, hey, I like you. I see what you're doing. We could build something. Like, let's meet.
I think it's so cool because I've never really been someone to kind of become friends with people through social media. I never posted on social media like really, besides for just like my regular personal life. And then I did obviously post like real estate content, but it was strictly business at that point in time. And Gia was following my personal page like for a long time. I had no idea, never saw her messages or anything. And randomly, I guess I saw some of her messages and I was like, is this a bot? Like, is this a real person? I like, wait, she's like stunning, but like, is she real? Like, there's like fake accounts all the time, like with like pretty people, but they're not real. I thought that you were fake at first, but then I was
hilarious.
But then like you were for real. I don't know. I just started engaging in conversation with you and then boom. And the same thing with you guys. And I couldn't imagine all of you guys not in my life now, which is so crazy just from that one DM. And like I said, I was not one of those types of people that would have become like close friends, let alone business partners with complete random strangers across the country.
Yeah. Like so organically, which is crazy. Like, I don't even know. I literally messaged you guys within the same like couple of weeks, if not like month max. And I think I was just like, I was new, like I had left the team I was managing and I was just like, I need more girls. Like, I don't know. I don't really have many people here. And I had followed Marley's styling page. And then she shared something. It was like an outfit for a closing. And I was like, is this bitch in real estate? Like, what? So I sent her a message because I was like, wait, like, she's so cool. And that's how I like found her real estate page. I think I messaged your real estate page and told you.
I never saw you on my personal page ever. So I was like, what's happening?
So crazy because I had followed you for like at least a year, like for sure. I don't know if I ever messaged you, but I definitely followed you for a while. And then Morgan, same thing. Like she was posting all this like crazy good real estate content. It was super engaging and super unique and like authentic. And I was kind of starting my like, you know, building my personal brand. And I was like, that girl is doing what I want to do. Like that, like she's it. So I sent Morgan a message and I was just like, you're dope. Love your shit. Like we should chat. And I think you were coming to Boston like that month. So we like, she was like, I love speakeasies. I was like, say less. We're going to Yvonne's.
Oh, I love Yvonne.
I love Yvonne's.
There for like 3 hours. Like I feel like we could have sat there all night, but it was like,
I could have sat there for forever talking. Like it was so much fun. I remember when you DM'd me and I was like, oh, this girl's out of Boston. I'm going to be there. Like, I'm going to love her already. I love Boston. I'm there most summers. I was like, done. Let's go to a speakeasy and let's see. And that, I could have sat there all night long talking to you. And that was such good timing for me too, because that was right at the time where I was going through my divorce and I had lost my entire friend group. I lost like my best friend, my husband at the time, like lost everybody. I was so low. That was during my rebuilding phase of like, all right, we're going to get super comfortable of being alone and figuring out what this next phase really looks like authentically. And so it was just talk about invisible string theory and divine timing again, like brought amazing women into my life and gave me a reason to like start looking at something bigger than just my local area here, which was just such a shit show at that time. It was like perfectly divine. That's what I needed. And especially for me being like not a big girl growing up and all of a sudden being super close with five of us from all different places, only one of them that I had met up in person with at that time until our first annual retreat last year, which was the first time that I saw Kelsey, Carly, or Marley. And I even have a video of Marley jumping out of the car being like, you guys are real. Like, it's so like, it's so funny. And like, we've not just built a friendship, but we've built a company and a whole movement about women empowerment and women in business. And coming from somebody who didn't feel like I had a lot of close, good girlfriends or were in fact burned by a lot of girlfriends young, like it's really cool to look back on and see how much that has changed in my life now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember all of us talking about it, the fact that you've always kind of had that growing up with girls, and it was just, you never really felt like you had like that close girl group. People pretty much sucked. And then like this transformation you felt right after the retreat. I remember when me and you were sitting in the airport together and we were like having like such an intense heart to heart about these girls and the divorce and the way the friends treated you and all the things. And I was just like, I felt like so awful that you even had to have gone through that. But I know for a fact that for you, you needed those like aligned friendships. And I know that like alignment is kind of your word of the year. And in order for you to feel like really fulfilled with friendships and aligned, I feel like you had to meet people that had similar ideas and goals and mindsets in order to form like that close friendship. And I like respect that wholeheartedly because it's very hard to meet new friends as adults. And it's very hard to meet friends in general that have similar goals and mindsets as you. And we've established that clearly with not just the five of us, but with an entire group of women, like 50 plus women. So
yeah,
incredible.
That's been so incredible because that was so personally transformational for me, just with the five of us, let alone with the whole group. But then going to that retreat and, there's 26, 30 of us in person in the same house. I was nervous because I knew it was going to be awesome. We were all prepping it. And I'm like, this is a badass event. But part of me was also nervous because I'm like, I'm not a girl's girl. I've never gone on a girl's trip before, let alone been one of the leaders of a girl trip. I'm like, what happens if there's drama? What happened? I'm like, I'm not well equipped to handle this. I'm like, I don't know. And then going to it and how everybody was so authentic and real, like exactly who they are on all of our calls. Like that's who showed up there with so much energy. Like the girls were crying when they were leaving. Like everybody felt so touched. I left with no voice and all the love in the world. Like I came back crying to Deandre being like, that's exactly what I needed. And like, I was part of building that. Like we built that. How cool is it?
It was the best weekend ever. Like legit best week of my life.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But I love like such a testament to the fact that, because I think women get such a bad rap. I mean, you were just talking about how you had negative experiences with girls that you thought were your friends that sounds like they weren't true girls. And they're out there. We all know them. We have all experienced them, unfortunately. But one, they make us better people and they build character. And it also makes those relationships and connections that are aligned and that are genuine and mutually like beneficial so much more valuable, because you're like, yeah, that is like the total opposite of what I've experienced in the past. And I love that we're doing this in a way that like we're leading by example, that yeah, we can get along. We can build companies together. Like it doesn't have to be this like, ooh, the girls are competitive and like girls are bitchy. Like they can't, but we're not.
No, I don't get along with girls that are like that. So
yeah, no, I don't have time for that. Like what's the point? And why waste your energy that way? Like I think that was a big one for me of the right friends don't just like support you and hype you up. Like they're helping you build the dream life that you're dreaming up yourselves, because they actually like see it, hear it. And even if that's just support, that's fine. But they see where you're going and where you want to go. And they're supporting you becoming you. And I think that was a big one of, I never had friends that made me feel like I could be expansive. I always felt like I had to start like kind of not saying as much about what I want to do or what I want to accomplish in life. Like it just made me feel like I had to be a little bit smaller. And what is the fun in that? Like I want everybody in my life. Like I want you to, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you pivot and change something. Like I want you to go after something that you are truly passionate about, that you are very interested in. And I want to help you like become whatever evolved person, careerist that you want to be. That's what I want. And that's the energy that I want around me too.
You're a true expander.
Yes, be expansive.
Yes. Everyone be expansive.
And not jealous. Like there's just so much jealousy out there, especially. Actually, I don't want to say especially with women, because I have seen it with men and it just shows up very differently with men. But I think with women, it's like obvious with women. And there's just no room for it. Like instead of being a jealous person, shift that jealousy into inspiration and look at that person that you're so-called jealous of and be inspired by them and like take what they're saying and like put that into your own goals and the way you move on a regular basis instead of just sitting there in that jealousy. I think it's literally the ugliest trait anyone could ever have. I have felt jealousy at points in my life, but the second I feel it, I'm like, ew, get that out of here. Like everyone has felt that feeling before, but there's a way to shift it and there's a way to move on from it and grow from it. Now I don't feel jealousy at all in my life.
Yes.
And I think most people are jealous when they're unhappy with their own lives. And let's be honest, like
I was gonna say, jealousy is such a big like tell of an insecurity. Like if you're jealous of someone because their content is like sick and you're seeing them getting like brand collabs, and you're probably insecure about your own content. You're probably insecure about your fear of showing up. Like it's always a projection of someone's internal, whatever it is that they're struggling with, usually an insecurity, but we have no place for that here, because like truly, like to Marley's point, I've never felt jealous of any of you guys. I've always just felt inspired. And like, I feel like you guys have done so much to open my eyes to like, oh, like different ways of doing things or approaching things or building. Like, it's just the coolest thing to just not be a jealous, miserable person.
Yeah. And when you're jealous or any kind of negative reaction that way, you're putting yourself, at least visually, you're putting yourself on somebody else's timeline or time frame or whatever they're doing. And that's what you're comparing. and you're literally making yourself just like stick in that weird, shitty situation. And instead realize, hey, we're on different timelines. And just like Marley said, use it as inspiration, but don't jump into their timeline. Stay on your timeline. Like take there's a woman comedian that I cannot remember her name. And she did a really good skit about how women should always be scanning. And it's like, ooh, what are they doing? Ooh, red jumpsuit. Maybe that's for me. And then it's like, nope, I don't have the color for that. That's not for me. That's awesome for her. That's not for me. But like always be scanning and see pieces of things that could help you become the person that you want to be, to build the career that you want to be. You're not stealing things. You're not copying things from people. You're still becoming your own person, but you're taking inspiration and education from the people that are around you, which is a smart evolutionary trait.
100%. And I just feel like, I mean, that's what this whole, like, the point is to be able to be inspired by other people and make it your own and shift it into whatever you want it to be. And then you kind of form your own individuality with that. And it shows. Like, for example, I have learned so much from Gia with marketing. So much. Like, I feel like I didn't know anything before I met her, honestly. And now that, like, all with everything that I've learned from Gia, I've formed into like my own look, my own brand, obviously with her help because she did an entire rebrand for me. but like all the tools and all of the stuff that I learned from Gia, I didn't copy and paste all the stuff that Gia does. I made it my own, but using those tools and that inspiration and those resources. And that's how everybody should be, whether that's with your fashion, with your life, all the things. But there's no need to be jealous. And also one more thing with the jealousy thing, you never know what people are actually going through. You could be jealous of what you're seeing online. Like that's pretty much like what goes on these days, unfortunately. But you have no idea what people are actually going through. Instagram's a highlight reel. We've heard this ad nauseum at this point, but like people still let social media affect them and what other people are doing. And it's not real. So would not focus on what other people are doing on socials.
No, I saw a really good quote the other day that actually kind of like stopped me. And I was like, that goes along with what you're saying. And it was like, comparison is dangerous because you could be comparing where God has you to where the devil has them. And it's not necessarily about a religious thing. It doesn't really matter like if you believe in God or not, but like, you never know, like that person that's like doing the thing that you're like, oh my God, like I wish I had that opportunity. They could be the most miserable, depressed, like they could be doing it against their will. Like you have no idea. So when I saw that, I was like, oh.
I like that. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. You never know. And I respect people so much that, you know, put out there what they're really going through, maybe after the fact. I know not everyone likes to talk about it during, but it's like, we don't all need to show the good stuff. I think it's important to show the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And it just shows that you're a real person and we're all going through our own shit.
Yeah.
Morgan, when I first met you, I didn't even know you were married. And when you posted about your divorce, I was like, wow, like good for her that you can just come out there and talk about it so openly. And you had nothing to hold yourself back from it anymore. Like you were set free. And I respected that so much. And it shows like, yeah, this girl's crushing it and killing it in her career, but she was definitely going through something in her romantic life. And you show it all.
Yeah. That was a big one. I got a lot of people that reached out because there were so many people in my life that like, I didn't tell anybody because at the very beginning, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was still trying to figure it out for myself. But then once I was going through the divorce process, like I was really, besides building Powerhouse Women with you guys, which was like a saving grace, like I was self-isolating and I was doing all of my rebuilding behind the scenes because I wasn't fully capable of like even being out in public that much. Like my energy was just so off that I didn't like being around other people. And it took me a while to really open up about it because I wanted to feel like I wanted to have my own energy self-regulated and I wanted to figure everything out and have like a positive way to talk about things as well. And I remember when I started posting just little things here and there because I had so many people come up to me that were like, you are absolutely killing it in business. Like you're an inspiration or different things like that. And I'm sitting there being like, oh God, like I'm glad I'm killing it in business. And I there are many things that I like about it, but I also feel like I'm dying inside a little bit, and I feel so alone, and I feel so like afraid of what's coming next. And I feel stuck in a build phase that I don't know where to go yet. And I'm just waking up every day being like, all right, is today the day? Let's do my morning routine and let's do a workout and let's see what comes, like what inspiration comes from this. How am I going to like bridge the gap? And so once I started sharing some of those things just lightly, I noticed a lot of people reach out. A lot of people were like, wow, I had no idea that was going on. Like, some of that is incredible to know how well you're doing in business. Like, you were able to hide that a little bit, so it didn't fully figure that out. I had other people come out of the woodworks being like, oh my God, I went through a divorce 2 years ago, or I did this, and I would love to like have somebody to talk to about it. And I was like, wow. And you see that there's like a lot of people who are going through very, sometimes similar, but sometimes very different things in their life. And they can put on a really brave face. And sometimes they just need somebody to be vulnerable to, even if it's just a comment saying, thank you so much for sharing. Like, that helped me. And that's definitely a hard thing to do, but it was definitely very helpful too.
100%. And it's so relatable for so many people out there, especially hearing it come from a younger woman. Like, you were pretty young when you got divorced, and it's not as common to hear about that. But the strength it took to do that at such a young age, because people will stay married for God knows how long, like 30 plus years, and then finally get a divorce. You knew it wasn't right, and you got out of it. And I just so much kudos to you, because I've stayed in relationships way too long, even though it didn't amount to marriage. But you know, it's so hard to walk away from something like that, especially when you're married and it's legal. So
Yeah.
what was one of like the biggest thing you learned from that?
Ooh. I think a big one for me that I needed to learn, and that encompassed any relationship, not even just a significant other, but especially a significant other. It was not being afraid to say exactly what you mean and even get it wrong at times, but to be totally upfront and have it out in the open. I think that was something in previous relationships, not even just my marriage. I think I held myself back a lot because I was like, okay, like, give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't mean something to come across this way. Like, I can be the bigger person, sit with it, whatever. But those things start compounding over time, and they turn into bigger elements, even if they seem really small in the moment. And so now I'm so much better about, in any relationship, even when I feel dumb about something, where I'm like, I don't know why I feel like, for some reason, I'm getting like this body feeling where I need to be defensive. And I don't know why, because we're talking about food, and I don't know why I'm getting defensive about this. But instead of like being weird and clammy and just like staying quiet, which that literally shifts the energy in the room, that you can tell I'm off, but instead of saying anything, I'm just like doing my own thing. I'm so much better now being like, okay, I'm going to let you in on what I'm feeling, even if I don't know why I'm feeling it. Let's work it out together and then move on. And that's helped me in so many relationships, including client relationships, where like I can feel the energy is off about somebody when we're in a showing, and instead of me brushing it off like I have it in the past, I'm like, hey, I'm just reading some energy right now. It looks like maybe you feel a little bit stuck. Maybe when we're talking about an offer, we feel like we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. How are we feeling? And it totally lets them be vulnerable, but also feel safe. And I've realized my relationships are just better from that.
Like, seriously though, you just kind of like taught me something because I do that.
Yeah.
I've always done that in so many relationships, even friendships. I have a hard time like letting people know that something's bothering me, because I don't want to start shit, you know?
Yeah.
I've sat in it, and it definitely compiles. So that's like a huge lesson that most people should know about. At least if you're not aware of like why something's bothering you, sit in it for a second, talk about it. Let them know that you're feeling some type of way, and then talk through it. Like, the communication aspect is so key.
Yes. And I thought I was communicating well before, and now I realize I'm like, wow, I was communicating like a kindergartner. Like, what was I doing? Like, but it's also like in just how society is and how a lot of our careers are and how society teaches women, I think they tell us to be, or teach us and show us to be quieter, to like, and there's merit in that to a sense. I think it's very important to sit with yourself, understand your feelings, and make that literally a lifelong practice, because the more you're comfortable being alone and sitting with yourself, the bigger your intuition is, the more reliable it is. You can actually trust yourself and listen to the voice that's in your own head because you're comfortable with it. You're not fighting it. And you can be comfortable communicating when something feels off, even when you don't know why or when your intuition doesn't know why. But you can start describing things differently, I realize. Like, I will describe feelings about like how something is sitting in my body. And I'm like, my mind clearly doesn't know exactly why I'm feeling this way, but I have a faster heart rate, or I have a really short like breath and I can't like catch my breath or take a full breath, or I'm just better at describing what's actually happening. And then you can reel it back. And when you have friends or a partner that either reciprocates that or holds space for that, that obviously helps even more. But being able to sit with that and be like, what am I actually feeling? And if I don't know, let's revisit it another time and see if that helps.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that is like a huge lesson to be learned. And that's also just comes with growing up and experiencing and going through the motions of different types of relationships. And it's so important to end up with somebody that shares that same communication style and is willing to learn.
Yes. Yeah, the willingness to learn is huge.
I think the same can be said for like professional relationships. I mean, we just talked about how we literally all just met, what was that, almost 4 years ago now, which is even crazy to think about. It feels like it's been forever. But learning how to communicate professionally with people that you work with, whether it's a client, a business partner, or you're doing like a brand deal or something, if something's bothering you or something is like coming up that you feel a type of way about, it's so important to be vocal about it because it does just fester and it gets worse. And I think we've all experienced that at different moments, like as we built Powerhouse Women. And it's like really cool on the other side of it to realize that we're in a much better position because we've communicated things that are difficult or challenging or maybe even be uncomfortable. So I love that you shared this. And I love how you talk about like describing the feeling in your body, like giving it a physical embodiment. I think that's really helpful.
That's a big portion I think of, like, because my kind of word of the year, my mindset really is alignment. And I think that helped me. Like, I'm such a wellness person. Like, I truly believe everything is connected, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything is connected. So being able to like actually put terms to it and communicate that, I think helps a lot. And sometimes when you don't know emotionally, you do know physically. And sometimes that doesn't like fully help you, but it gives you a layer that you can build from.
So Morgan is now stepping into this new role with Powerhouse Women. I'd love for Morgan to kind of talk about it a little deeper because it is very much so in alignment with her lifestyle, her life, what she enjoys doing, and what she's still going to be chief of finance of Powerhouse Women, but another role. So Morgan, take it away.
I'm super excited about this because I've been the chief of finance, which is super fun. And we've had so many initiatives that we are about to roll out as well that we're just constantly building. But my new role, I think, allows me to dive in even deeper and kind of shed a new layer that I think Powerhouse Women has. But now we can like really uncover it more. So my new title is actually the Chief of Member Strategy. And this is a position that's going to give us more visibility, personalization, growth, but more importantly, really tying our members and our communities together, because all of our market partners, including the 5 of us, are really the anchors of our local cities. And that's incredible. But now we want to grow that because Powerhouse Women isn't just a company, it's also a movement. We're not just getting in tune with ourselves. And so this is all about alignment. And this is how I shifted this in selfishly to perfectly fit exactly what I think Powerhouse Women can do, where my strengths are. But the whole goal is to bring our market partners and solidify them in their market, but really allow them to shine, their authenticity, their alignment. Powerhouse Women is not here to mold all of these people into whatever we want them to be. The whole goal is to support these women building what they want, where their authenticity is, help them shine even further. So a big part of this role is meeting with these members on a much more regular basis. And it's checking in on their personal and professional goals and how we get them to alignment in their city, how we bring in more opportunities that align with them. Some people will do more speaking arrangements and events. Some will probably do merch or something else that aligns with their business. And our role is to help them like shine the flashlight on it and support them to get there in a better, more supportive way. So I'm super excited about how this role is going to help us have every market partner really be seen, supported, and scale even further than we've had. We've attracted this amazing culture already and have some absolutely mind-boggling, amazing women in our group. And I know that if we can just keep pulling threads and allowing them to shine even further, like this is going to be an unstoppable force.
And I'm so excited for it. I think that this is like a fantastic new segue into like creating more for our market partners and the society as well, not even just market partners, but it's going to just bring so much more to the table for them.
Completely. Yeah. This is good. I'm definitely going to be more about like, let's identify your edge. Let's build a strategy around it that is truly aligned with you. How do you break into your local market? How do we bring the society members that are building in all of our markets together? How do we tie everything together? Because we don't just want women to join Powerhouse Women and like sit on the sidelines. We want them walking in the door, immediately feeling supported and feel momentum as well, where we can all shine and we can all have our personalities really come out in our careers.
Definitely.
About it. I feel like the girls are going to love it too. And we're going to learn so much more about all of them and like what they're working on and how we can, as a collective, like really support them in the society and the market partners.
Yes. I'm so excited.
So fun building this with you guys. It's still so surreal. Like it doesn't feel sometimes like this is our company. Like it feels like something that, to me at least, sometimes I'm just like, oh, like I'm part of this thing. Like, no, we started this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually talking about it with someone last night. I got drinks with a friend that I haven't seen in years. Like actually lives in Arizona, Morgan. So, and I was just talking about Powerhouse Women, and I was like, it's so interesting because I've been an entrepreneur my entire like professional career. I never did any other type of job. I've always done real estate and then personal styling. And then as soon as this came along, it kind of gave me that taste of what working in a corporate world is like, but in like our own way. Like I feel like doing all like the different components of a business is very corporate. And I never knew how any of this structure worked until now because we're obviously doing it ourselves. But it like, I mean, just sending specific types of emails seems very corporate versus the way I send emails in a day-to-day. It's so different. So it's interesting. And I kind of like that I get that other aspect, but it's still entrepreneurial and it's still in our own way, but slightly corporate.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good balance. I mean, you guys know me. I'm like an operations nerd. I'm like obsessed with this stuff more so because I feel like for me, I'm a big picture thinker and I'm always thinking like 10 years ahead at minimum. It's really hard for me to think about like tomorrow or next week because I'm always thinking about the macro. So I'm always thinking about, okay, what is this new thing that we're implementing? What is the process supposed to look like and what should it look like in order for it to not break? Like I'm trying to think like, okay, when we have 100 market partners and when we have staff, they're going to need this, they're going to need a manual, they're going to need a system. Like, so for me, like I love doing stuff like that. And it is funny that you say that, Marley, because Jay was looking at like, we just did an exercise last week where we went through all of our tasks as a company, are really trying to like fine tune, like who's doing what and what's the timeline and what are the processes and stuff. And Jay came over and he looked at my, like the spreadsheet on my computer and he was like, do you know, like this is stuff that like big, like Fortune 500 companies do, like task allocation. And there's 5 of us. And like the fact that we're doing it now, it's so cool. And it's such like a interesting learning experience.
It is. Yeah, I didn't even know what SOP meant until this year. So like truly like really diving into all this stuff now, and it's all making more sense now, but I don't know what we would do without you because I feel like you've taught me all of it.
No, I'm like a big one.
Organize.
It is really cool to see this side of things, especially with the 5 of us, because you also realize like our brains work in different ways. And so coming together, there have been so many things that I've learned from each of you guys where I've been like, whoa, that wasn't even that wasn't even something that registered to me ever, never even thought about it. And I'm like, wow, okay. The strengths and the ways that our brains work play off of each other so well, and we can learn from them all the time. And every now and then you also butt heads and you have to figure that out too. But there's so much beauty in, like, all of us have started our own careers and we're entrepreneurs clearly, but being able to do that together and do it well and actually be able to lean on each other allows you to scale at a whole different level. And that comes with a lot of challenges, but a lot of really cool opportunities.
It's been very organic because, like, we didn't start this to become a company. We started this as a group chat. We met on Instagram and I was like, I have 2 friends that are in real estate too, and you need to meet them. And we started as a group chat, and it very organically and pretty quickly too became something that we were like, all right, there's something here. We should probably like start talking about how we can make it more of a thing. And like, it became a company, but we didn't sit down and say, we want to build this company and we want to build this thing. How do we do it? Which is really unique. And also I feel like a testament to the fact that we do work so well together, even though we're so different. Like, we just like did it. We didn't even really think about it. We just were doing it. And before we knew it, we had a company. And
Literally formed into a company like right under our noses, like without even like one day we were just like, oh shit, like we have to actually like start making SOPs.
Yeah.
Manual going.
We have to start Instagram. We get to do this. We have to do that. We need a website. All the things. We all need our own like email aliases. And I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? Where do you need? What should I do?
It's so
like none of us expected that, but this is your sign to make friends on social media. If somebody is like super cool to you and you feel really aligned to them, just send that DM like Gia, because if she didn't, neither would have I. I never would have done it. So God bless.
Be here. Social media should be social. Like, and honestly, I always like, because I've talked to so many people about this, and I definitely have said this to one of you two before, but like, if you get a random DM from someone that's like, you're so cool, love your content, love XYZ about what you do, you're not, I mean, and if you don't agree with this, then you're not my kind of person, but you're not going to be like, why are they messaging me?
No, that's like the kindest thing you can say to someone that lifts somebody up. You're literally just giving somebody a compliment.
Yeah.
Who doesn't compliment?
Like, how would you, like, if you feel weird about it, how would you receive a message? Like, how would you feel if you received a message and then put that into like the perspective of like, you should send that DM, DM, because that person's probably going to read it and be like, oh my gosh. And if not, then they're not your kind of person. And at least you found that out.
100%. So yeah, you never know. You can meet your future best friend. You can meet your future business partners. You can meet your future husband. So just do it. Mm-hmm. Although I'm not sliding in a single man's DM, so
they should be sliding into yours.
I don't know, Marley. Maybe you need
to. That also needs to stop.
Don't slide into Marley's DMs unless you're a girl's girl.
Unless you're cool, hot, funny, successful. If you're a weirdo, like just please.
No weirdos for Marley.
So I guess this brings us to my favorite part: hot takes. So who wants to go first? What's Morgan, Gia, do you guys have any hot takes that you'd like to share?
I feel like I could have a million hot takes.
I want to hear Morgan's hot take.
I feel like I could go so many different levels. I feel like one recently that's been resonating with me has been like, if you are not healthy, why would I trust you with anything? Like, if you show me that you can't take care of yourself, why will you take care of me as a client? Why would you take care of your business, your family? Like, you've shown me everything that I need to know based on just your health.
I agree with that.
Totally agree with that.
That's a good one.
So if you're a fat man that is telling me what to do, it's never going to go well.
Good luck, Charlie.
That's good.
Oh gosh, why are these so hard? I feel like I have hot takes like all the time. All the time.
Trying to think of some too.
I have like a super random one that has nothing to do with this conversation whatsoever. And it's definitely a hot take. Prepare. I'm about to be a little controversial. I think it's extremely selfish when people share their children online, their faces.
Ooh.
I don't think that there's a good reason for it. And I don't think it benefits the child at all. And it poses more of like a potential threat to them.
So you think it's exploiting children?
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, there's clearly like a whole community online of people that agree with that. I don't know if I have an opinion on it because I don't have a kid or kids in
I
my
don't
life.
have kids either. I should have said that first. I don't have children, but if I did.
No, I don't know. But like, I mean, publicly, right? Like if someone had like a private account, you wouldn't think that it was a problem, but a public account.
There's layers to it too. Like obviously like posting your kid and like using them to get like brand deals, like that's like clear, like exploitation. Like you're literally using the kid to make money.
I don't know if I agree with that.
But if it's like you're just, I don't know. I just feel like there's ways like if you really want to show your kid online that you can do it without showing their face. I just feel like in the days of like AI and like God knows what's going on in like the deep dark web, that's my perfect take. I would just never put my child's face out there for anyone in the world to do whatever they please with it.
No, you're right. It is creepy. Like, and you don't think about that. And I definitely think that it's like not cool to be putting your kid's face to get brand deals and stuff. Like that kind of sucks. But I never thought about like I probably would post my kid.
If I had it my way, there would be no kids posted.
Yeah.
Wait, Morgan, what'd you say?
It's like if I had it my way, there would be no kids posted ever. That would be awesome.
Yeah, our audience doesn't know. Morgan's like,
like, yeah. If you want kids, I will support you. But for me, that's not my path.
Yeah, I'm like indifferent because like I'm not like a huge kid person either. Like I'm gonna have kids and I'm excited for my own kids and I love some kids, but I'm not like a well-rounded. I love kids all the time, anywhere and any place. Yeah. I don't get your boogery kid away. Yeah. So I get that. But yeah, no, I get it on both sides. I get it on both sides of not wanting to exploit your child. But then I also get it like wanting to share your child with like your friends and family on like social media. So I see it in like both ways, but there's definitely a way that's wrong, I think. And that is like essentially like collecting a check because of your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laws against like the kid's supposed to get like a majority of the percentage of the profit from like anything like, and that's why I'm like, if you want to be a parent influencer, like go off. But there's ways like, look at Nara Smith. She doesn't show her kids' faces, but she's like a mom influencer and like her content is all about being a mom. But I don't know what her kids look like and I don't need to know what they look like. That's not my business. I don't know. That's just my hot take.
Yeah, no, you're so right. She actually has shared them before, but it's very subtly and it's like
the side profile or like.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen her kids.
I think as they get older, I think she has like an age where she's like,
yeah, not the infant, but like the two older ones. I think that I've seen them before. But yeah, no, I agree. And I think that like when your kid gets to an age where they can speak and if they want to like be on a TikTok video because that's what they want to do. So be like, you know, that little girl that just recently interviewed Paige DeSorbo and she's like a little like fashion and like
she always has like braid or something. She's so cute.
Horrible. Like that girl's making a career out of this and like she wants to do that. That's a passion of hers. So be it. I would never stop my kid from doing something like that. They want to dance on screen, whatever. But that's when they have a voice and they're able to like disclose that that's what they want to do. And
if your parents had either made you an Instagram as an infant or like even just like, Mom, why were you posting me like in a diaper with like food all over my like why were you doing that? You know what I mean? Like I would be pissed at my mom. Get that stuff down. Like that's all blackmail for me today. Like get it down. You know?
Yeah, I mean it's innocent when you're a baby, but I get it.
I know.
You're saying. Yeah, that's a hot take for sure.
That's a hot take. I was like, this one might ruffle some feathers, but that's
yeah, I'm curious what people are gonna say.
No, let us know.
Comment below.
This is an open space for opinions. And like we can still be friends if we have differing opinions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, now let me think about my hot take. I do have one. Okay, if we want to talk like Jersey Shore hot takes, I hate going to like the beach, like the public beaches. I hate them. They're overcrowded. Why am I paying to walk on a beach in an area that I live in. Like I pay taxes. Like why? I don't understand. So I don't know if it's like that. Well, Morgan, you don't have beaches, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like that in Mass, but like you have to pay to get on beaches unless it's like a public, like it's a state park or something like that. So I go to my family's beach club, which obviously you pay for, but like, you know, it's a little booze.
You have to pay?
You have to pay like, I don't know if it's like $11, $12, but like I'm not paying that to get on the beach. There are some beaches that like are like there's no lifeguards and stuff. So you can go on for free there, which I prefer. Like I prefer the more quiet, less touristy beaches. And I get so angry in the summer when all my friends want to go to a beach and it's like a shit show getting on the beach. Like, oh, I got to pay you. Oh, no, I got to go do it through this app. I can't just give you cash. It's like, I'm trying to get on the beach with my friends. So I don't really like going to the public beaches. And that's a huge hot take here for sure.
Yeah.
I go to the beach club or I'll go to like a place where I'm going to spend money, but I'm getting something out of it. Like I'm getting drinks can't come up to me or like a nice lounge chair.
$12 to get on the beach isn't for parking. It's literally like, even if you walked onto the beach, you have to pay.
Well, you have to pay for parking. And well, not everywhere. Some places you can find parking for free. And as soon as you walk on the beach, there's like a little lady or a man sitting under this little umbrella and they're like, excuse me, you have to pay. And I'm like, my ID says I'm a resident. Why am I paying? Like they need to change the law here because it's getting ridiculous. But that's how
that's exploitation of the locals.
That's how towns
bad.
That's how towns get obviously like so much in their tax money. But like, I don't know. I feel like if you show an ID and it says that you're a Monmouth County resident, you should not have to pay to get on a beach.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, for my whole life, why am I paying to get on a beach? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there's not like it's not like I'm getting anything out of it. Like it's not like there's like a snack bar. I mean, there are in some, I guess, some beaches, but like there's like a boardwalk. But I don't know. I like going to the more like secluded beaches that not a lot of people go to, not a lot of people know about because they're not mainstream. That's where I go, and I just sit there with my chair. I'll bring a sub, a hoagie, whatever you guys want to call it. It's a sub here.
It's a sub here.
And a book, maybe a little, you know.
All day. That's what the beach is for.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm all set on that.
Yeah. I'm not a big beach person in general, but if I'm going to a beach, it's not going to be one that is crowded by any means. Like when I'll have friends and they're like, we're going to go to San Diego and we're going to go to some of the beaches. And I'm like, no, there's 50 million people on those beaches. Why would I do that? I want to go to my own pool. I don't want to go with sand. Or I want it to be like, I was just in Bora Bora. I'll go there. I will go to that beach, but I will do an overwater villa. So I skip the sand part and I just get in the water.
Wait, I love sand. You can catch me rolling around in the sand. There's sand in every component of my body when I leave the beach. I am a beach girl to my core. Like I was born on the beach. Not really, but I basically was.
You know, I can actually picture that. And that's hilarious.
I am a sandy beach girl. Like I'll make sandcastles still. Like I don't care. So
you know, you might convince me to do sandcastles with you. I could probably do that.
Hell yeah.
And like the ocean, like riding a wave. Hello.
I love the beach and I love sitting on the sand, but the ocean, I don't know. I just getting my hair wet. That's like I'm touching on the bottom.
Hair's not straight anymore. You can go in the water.
Oh, I know, but even like I have a whole styling routine that like the curls, it's just gonna be a mess. There's gonna be sand in my hair. I'm gonna have to wash it. Like, and also I hate the feeling of being in the water, like any body of water, lakes and ponds are worse than the ocean for sure. But like when I start, like I can't see when my feet are touching, I'm all set. I'm hauling my ass back to the beach chairs. It just skeeves me out. I don't like it.
I need the water. What if it's so hot? It's unbearable. You're just not going to go in the ocean.
I'll go in like up to like my waist.
Okay. Yeah. Like,
where I can still see the bottom and I can kind of like dunk or like, you know, like get myself wet and like cool off. But then I'm going right back to the beach. Like if you see me out in the water, I'm probably going to the bathroom. And that's probably why.
Yeah, that's common.
first place. And then I'm getting right back on to my towel or my chair and tanning. Like,
That's actually like another hot take for me. I like don't go to the bathroom in the water. And I don't like when people do that. Like okay, like the ocean, fine, like whatever. But like a pool.
that's a different story.
Yeah.
People pee in pools. I have never in my entire 30 years of living peed in a pool. Okay? So if you're doing that shit, get the fuck out of my face. That's insane and rude and just like horrific. Like you're peeing in someone's pool.
Yeah. Public pools, it's even worse. That's just
Why are people doing that?
That's why I won't go to a public pool. Are you kidding me? No. Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
I had friends growing up that they would do that. And I would be the one kid that would be like, I don't want to go. And they're like, that's what we do on the weekends. And I'm like, I'm not going with you. I'd rather sit at home by myself. I'm not going to a freaking public pool.
People are peeing in them.
Yeah. Gross.
Please. So yeah, those are my hot takes.
Those are good hot takes.
Yeah.
I have a real estate hot take kind of, because I think Marley and I had been talking about it. It drives me absolutely insane when people use labels to describe markets as good, bad, hard, tough, anything like that, especially when they're a professional. You're just exposing the fact that you've never learned how to adapt or really work in a market, because markets are cyclical. Everybody knows this. Our buyers and our sellers have to even sign paperwork that says, hey, markets are cyclical. Everybody knows it. You can't be a good realtor when you're only good in a good market. That doesn't make any sense. That actually means you're a terrible realtor.
Yeah, no, I mean, my market here right now is hot. Like listings are flying off in days. Like it's a very hot market. It's true seller's market. So buyers are struggling, but it's like I'm still making deals. I'm still signing contracts and getting deals for my clients. Not all the time, because it's very hard to get a deal right now, but it's not impossible. You just have to find the right properties. And I think that the issue with the buyers right now is that they're so narrow-minded on what they think that they want, that they're not looking the bigger picture. Like, okay, well, maybe if I bought this house for a little bit less and put some work into it, even not like a gut reno. Like I'm talking like just like do things as you're living there. It might not be picture perfect right away. Like make it what you want it to be. And this, you can actually get a deal on this instead of trying to find that perfect move-in ready home that's going to fly off the market in days with like 50 plus offers. Good luck. Like I'm here to help you. I'm here to obviously guide you and tell you what offers you need to be making. But if it's still not working for you, maybe we need to readjust. And it's very hard for buyers to readjust. Some listen, some don't. Yeah. But, you have to be that agent that's giving them all their options. And there's agents out there that are like, oh, yeah, it's just tough. I guess maybe like we just got to keep trying. Like, no, give options for your buyers.
Yeah. And there are different strategies for people. Like there are going to be markets where it's not going to be a good time for my clients to buy in that market. But there's a way for them to prepare to take advantage of the next thing. And so you can switch that strategy. But at the same time, where it's a bad market for somebody else to buy in, it's an amazing market for other people to buy. So as an agent, like you're the professional, your job is to be able to adapt and strategize, but also be able to educate and lead some of your clients. They're not all going to listen to you, and that's fine. But you have to know how to read the market and then be able to explain it to clients. That way, the right clients for that market find you and are actually coming to you for that reason. But all these agents that are like, it's a really tough market. We can't put any deals together. How are you doing in this tough market? I'm like, it's not a tough market. It's just a different market. That's all that it is. Like
a moving market. That's what it is. And clearly it's not moving in the market with your clients. Then maybe you need to readdress your strategy as an agent. Because I mean, look, not every buyer or seller is going to listen to what you're saying, but at least you're giving them options. That's the best you could do. You can advise as best to your ability, but if they're not taking your advice, then maybe, it's not their time, and that's okay. But you have to like, if you really need to buy a house in this market, you have to adjust. If you really want to sell in this market, in my market, your house will sell. Not a problem. As long as you price it right.
Or you're going to sit in Boston.
Yeah, as long as you price it right. That's for sure. That's in any market, no matter what.
Yeah.
So, Morgan, where can everyone connect with you and find you?
On all of my socials, I'm Mrs. Right House, right with a W, or The Order. We haven't posted anything yet because we're brand new, but we will be posting real estate stuff there too.
I'm so excited to see. Well, it was so nice chatting with you guys today, as always.
Always adore you guys.
Love you guys.
Thanks.
Have a great weekend.
I know. Everybody have a good weekend. And everybody go conquer the rest of your day.
Yes, and find alignment.
Bye.
That's a wrap on this episode of At the Table with Powerhouse Women. Thanks for tuning in. If you love today's conversation, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Your support helps us keep pulling up more seats at the table.
Want to keep the conversation going? Join the movement at powerhousewomen.com/society.
And connect with us on Instagram at Powerhouse Women.
Until next time, keep showing up, keep building, and remember, there's always room at the table for you.